Okay. Is the PPT visible to everyone? Please confirm once again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right, all right. So last lecture we completed vertical income statement. So we understood what are the different levels we have in vertical income statement. We always start income statement with major income, that is net sales, and then we kept on reducing some expenses out of that, and we got 6 levels of profit. So in continuation to that, we have vertical balance sheet. It is presented in top to down style. We don't have two sides here, you'll have to remember that. So in one of the company's financial statements, which I shared with you in my first lecture, over their asset side was first, followed by liabilities. So here we have first liability side, followed by assets. Liabilities are known by sources of funds, which is divided in two parts, own funds and borrowed funds. Alternatively, we also call it as own capital and borrowed capital. So this part consists of owner's contribution. Equity shareholders, preference shareholders, they are the owners of the company. Any reserves and surplus lying in the company, like general reserve, dividend equalization reserve, capital reserve, that belongs to them. And any loss which is there in the company, that also has to be adjusted in their capital only. So this part is completely talking about the capital component or contribution of owners. In case if the company has taken any borrowings, so we will segregate them into secured and unsecured borrowings. If any property is given as mortgage, then that particular borrowing will be secured. You're supposed to write here, for example, debentures issued, bank loan taken against some mortgage of property, that will fall here. And if you have taken a loan without any mortgage, like personal loan or some other loan, vehicle loan like that, then it will come in unsecured loans. Current liability will not come here because it is shown as a deduction from current assets. So on application side, we will see the current liabilities will be reflecting. So when we add up this two, we get the liability side total. Application of funds. Now this is the asset side. I'm starting with asset sides now. It has major three headings. So the Roman 1, 2, 3, which you see here. First is fixed assets, second is investments, and third is net working capital. Fixed assets, you already know that we segregate them in two headings. Some fixed assets are intangible in nature and some are tangible in nature. On intangible fixed assets, we don't provide depreciation, rather we write off. So we call it as amortization. We amortize them. We write off these assets. Whereas on tangible fixed assets, we have to provide depreciation. So these two, you will have to show them separately. So in order, always intangible fixed assets will come, like goodwill, patents, copyright, trademark, technical know-how, secret formulas of the company. All that will fall here. And tangible fixed assets like building, machinery, furniture, equipments, etc. will fall here. And if depreciation is there, you'll have to show in the inner column working, and then finally the net block will be shown. You add up this two, tangible and intangible, and you get the grand total of fixed assets. So this is end of part one. Part two is talking about investments. Please keep in mind when I say investment separately, when we are disclosing, it is long-term investment. If the investment is held for more than 1 year, then that investment will fall under this heading. But if the investment is for less than 1 year, then it will go in current assets. So we may further segregate investments into quoted investments and unquoted investments. Quoted investments are the one securities which you are buying which are listed on a stock exchange. So any investment or a security which you are buying, is if it is listed, you will put them in quoted investment, and if it is not listed, you will put them in unquoted investment. When you add up all the investments done by the company, the long-term investments, you get total investments. The most important component of application of funds is net working capital. Now, here, a person who is interested to know the regular routine activities of the company, whether the company is having enough working capital or not, if a bank is looking for funding working capital loan, then this area will be of relevance for them. So net working capital, how do I get this? Current assets minus current liabilities. So first I'm going to list current assets, but be very careful here. I am further segregating this current assets into quick and non-quick current assets. Now what is quick and what is non-quick? Those current assets which can be easily converted into cash, quickly converted into cash, they will fall here. And those current assets which are slightly difficult, they're not easily convertible. They are going to fall here. Now, how will we? Let us see some examples. You will have to add cash. Can I liquidate cash? Can I buy something from cash immediately? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes. So it is a quick current asset. Let's take another example, bills receivable or debtors. Bills receivable debtors together are known as accounts receivable. So can I get cash immediately for this debtor or bills receivable? Are they easily convertible into cash? Yes, no? Any guess? Yes, they are. For example, if I have a debtor in my business, I can ask the debtor to accept a bill and I can take that bills receivable to my bank and I can discount that bills. So that can be easily converted into cash. So what are the examples of quick current assets? We have cash balance, bank balance, debtors, bills receivable, etc. Then what comes in non-quick current assets? There are only two items which fall here. One is stock, the unsold stock, closing stock, and prepaid expenses. Now, what is the reason? Why is stock or inventory a non-quick current asset? Closing stock, which is lying in your business. If you all remember in final accounts, we had a rule, whichever is lower concept. Stock is valued at cost or market price, whichever is lower. Why? Because we don't know whether the stock will be sold at the same price. If I am overvaluing it, I'll be at loss. My profits will be inflated. So closing stock, it is very difficult because I cannot surely say that yes, this can be liquidated immediately. It may take time sometimes. So I'm not saying it is not liquidable. It is. It can be liquidated, but it will take time. First, I'll have to find a buyer. Then I'll have to sell it to him. Then some period will be given, credit period will be given, and then on the date of maturity, he will pay. So the duration is lengthy. So what will come under non-quick current assets? It is stock and prepaid expenses. Rest all current assets are quick. So when I add up quick and non-quick current assets, I'll get my total current assets. This is one component of net working capital. I have another component that is current liabilities. Now look at the style of presentation. Even in current liabilities, I have same presentation. I'll be first segregating them into quick, list all the quick current liabilities, and then I'll go to the non-quick current liabilities. So what will come in quick? Creditors will come, bills, payables will come, all the outstanding expenses, outstanding rent, wages, salaries, any unpaid amount which is there, which will fall, provision for tax, proposed dividend, that will come here because I'm supposed to pay them immediately. Suppose you have not paid salaries to your worker. Can you delay that? Can you say the worker, okay, come after 1 year? I can't delay, right? So they are quick current liabilities. I'll have to immediately pay as soon as possible. Then what comes in non-quick current liability? Here also there are two items which will fall. You'll have to remember those two things. One is bank overdraft and the other one is pre-received income. Exactly opposite of prepaid expense, which was on the current assets. Here we have pre-received income. So bank overdraft and pre-received income, these are the two current non-quick current liabilities. Rest all current liabilities will fall in quick. So when I add up this two, I get my total current liability. Look at the presentation, the figures are in inner column only. What comes in the outermost column is the final figure. So on the previous slide, we had this current assets total here. And now I have current liabilities total, CA minus CL. I'm going to do current assets minus current liability, which will give me net working capital figure. Once I'm ready with this figure, all three figures are ready. So fixed assets total is here, the highlighted yellow part. Investment total is here. And after the working CA minus CL, I got my third amount also. So when I'll add up all these three figures, I get my total application or total assets. Rule remains same. Assets must be equal to liabilities. So once you get this answer, you can compare whether your total capital employed, that is sources side, is matching with your application side or not. Now look at this slide. You can see the details are given, what comes under miscellaneous expenditure, what comes under. You can read this. After this, I can start with practical example.